What's going on, everyone? This is kind of a different video. I've done well, not really. I've done so many conspiracy type videos, but this one I think I might have a direct answer to, and I did do years and years of research into it. I do a thesis and everything, and I think I figured this out. So Apple recently, they did this whole campaign thing of iPhone camera thing. They're trying to do this iPhone XS shot on iPhone competition thing, and I'm assuming they picked a winner. I don't really know how this worked. I didn't do too much research into that, but essentially they picked a winner, I think, and then I guess this movie name was The Bucket, and I actually watched it, and I think it's really cool. The storyline is pretty decent. It's emotional. I cried 5 times watching it, and I didn't watch it prior to me finding something out. And basically what happened, I kept seeing it on my recommended list. I never watched it. I was whatever. It just came out yesterday, the day before, and I went on Twitter, and this guy tweeted this to me. I don't remember his name, but I'll post the tweet up, and he was like, what do you think of this, yada yada yada, because I'm assuming a lot of people know that I like pointing out flaws in companies. And so this person linked an article, so I went to the article, and it was actually from GSM Arena, so shout out to them. I use their website every single day, and the headline of this article is "Apple shot on iPhone film likely isn't," and I was like, whoa, this is some juicy stuff, man. I can get a ton of views from this. And I started reading it, and honestly they made a lot of fair points and a lot of good points. So after reading it, I actually went and watched that video, and honestly I was kind of mixed, because I watched it and I'm like, man, I own the iPhone XS and I own the iPhone X right now. I don't think there's a humongous difference between those cameras, but even when I did that whole review on the iPhone XS, I knew that the camera was great. I knew it was really, really good, but I'm looking at that film that they made. I'm like, that camera quality is very, very good. It's almost too good. I don't understand how they would be able to take those type of shots on this type of phone. I mean, if you were to just show me that video, I would assume they filmed it professionally on a DSLR or something at least. So that was super, super crazy. So what I did was I read that article a little bit more, in detail. I just kind of skimmed over it, and they brought up some really good points, and I kind of agree with all of them, but I also don't. So here's the thing. The first thing they hit on is actually the bokeh effect on some of those still images or some of those video frames in the film, and I 100% agree with what they say. So they say is that, yes, you can kind of fake a bokeh effect. On the stock iPhone XS, you can kind of get a bokeh effect in videos and photos, but the bokeh effect that they had in that film was very, very good. It was almost too good. I filmed tons of videos on almost every single iPhone, and I can tell that the film that they were shooting in, for that person to be that far into the frame and still for the whole entire background to be that blurred out, they had to use a lot of effects after the case. So of course they use software, and they kind of mentioned in this article, in order to color correct and do all these other crazy things. But man, I didn't know there was software that existed that made that background blur that much in a video. I know in photos you can do it, I do it all the time, but in a video that's pretty crazy, I think. But of course, this is Apple. They're a multi-billion dollar, almost trillion-dollar company, so they have as much resources as they can, but still, man, that's pretty impressive. And so later on in the article, they kind of hint at this crazy hardware thing that they were using with the lens and this whole entire crazy thing going on with it. And I do think at a sense Apple did do this. I've seen lots of behind the scenes of commercials that they say were shot on Androids or iPhones, whatever, and there's usually huge rigs with them, and I 100% believe Apple did use this. So I don't think it was a small little camera thing they were using the whole entire time with the iPhone. Of course, they had huge hardware and software, and they mentioned that in the end of the video is that there was additional hardware and software used. So I think by that they mean they used this thing, not necessarily a whole separate camera or anything like that. So what I did was, after I watched this, I literally went through the whole entire video frame by frame to see if there was a slip up, seeing if there was a reflection in the mirror or a helmet or something like that, to see if they were actually using the iPhone instead of a huge DSLR. And I went through that whole entire video frame by frame, mostly. There were some other parts there was no need to, but the consensus was that I found out that I could not find a single frame where the thing that was filming was shown. So that means the camera, the iPhone, whatever they were filming with, they did a really good job at concealing it. And I guess that's a really good thing to do when you're filming, is to make sure the equipment you're using isn't shown. There was this one scene when they were in the bus, where the guy was in the bus and the door started to close. I tried my best to go frame by frame to see if I could see a reflection, but I could kind of make out people in that, but I could not see an actual filming gear, so I just kind of left it as it is. So in my opinion, this article brought up a lot of good points, and I don't think Apple was being deceptive here. I don't think they were being manipulative. I definitely think that it's kind of strange for them to kind of say this is what you can do with an iPhone XS, even though they're having way more hardware, way more software. They have so many people involved with this, audio engineers, people who are editing, people who are filming. It's not just one person doing all this stuff. So I definitely think that this film was filmed on an iPhone and hardware, but they had so much software, so much hardware stuff involved in it that it kind of takes away the, I guess, appeal of me being oh my God, god, this is so crazy, this was filmed on an iPhone. Like, yes, it was filmed on an iPhone, but you had probably like thousands and thousands of dollars invested into everything else, into the editing. And weirdly enough, DJI was involved. I guess that drone shot where they kind of went over the bridge and I guess they were filming it, I was like, how do they do that? But I guess they attached the iPhone to a drone or something and then had them go through it or something, I don't know. But I think as a whole, this movie was filmed on an iPhone. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you guys think Apple was being manipulative here? Do you guys think it wasn't filmed on an iPhone? I think at this point, Apple is way too big of a company to let something like this fall out. I mean, I've seen a lot of things like Huawei people and like directors and people within those companies tweeting things from an iPhone and everything. I think that's fine. I don't really care. Let the people use whatever they want to. But I think in this case, they did use an iPhone. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Hit that like button. That don't mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it don't mean so much if you guys could hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel, all those links are linked down below. I would really appreciate if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.